What is up, internet? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ori. We're here with a stream. I think things are going to be looking good. Maybe. Right now, doesn't seem like I'm dropping any frames. Things seem to be stable on my end. Don't know how they're coming through on your end, but we're going to have to find out. Lots been going on inside the Big Brother house this weekend, especially over the last 24 hours. Lots of flip-flopping back and forth. And we'll see what happens tonight. I'm still not 100% sure what we're going to end up seeing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not quite sure who exactly is going to be going home tonight. So before we actually get into the start of the episode, let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what was going on. So first off, it all started with Kiefer and Josh. Kiefer kind of went to Josh and was like, hey, do you want to stay? And he's like, I might have a little bit of a plan for you. If you can get this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, you'll stay off the block. And he gave him like 5 to 6 names, including himself. Who were those names? Oh, just the rest of the Sunsetters, right? So he was just throwing the rest of the Sunsetters all under the bus. And, that kind of started a whirlwind of events. Because then Josh started going around trying to see who he could get, right? Like, hey, if you give me a chance to stay, I'm going to try and stay. I'm going to do some work to try and get out of this. So eventually he goes to, who does he go to first? I think he goes to Latoya. And he goes to Latoya and he's like, hey, I'll be a target, right? I'm going after, who did he say he was going to be going after? Kyle or Austin, right? So what was that beeping? That was weird. He said he was going to go after these people. So she's like, oh, you want to go after the people that aren't me? That sounds great. I'm totally in on this plan. And it just went back and forth all day of like, okay, pretty much all the Sunsetters couldn't get on board because he was naming everybody. But we're getting in the episode now. Let me give you a little bit of a sync up point here.
News about the teams. There is so much to get into. Big Brother Canada starts right now.
Right now. We can go into the thing here. You can get kind of an idea of where everything is. We got the block up there, so you can see Josh and Rohan up there. HOH currently. Austin, Kiefer, who won the veto. Pull this out here. Oops. So I can keep up with this. If you need help watching the episode, figuring out how to watch if you live outside of Canada, just head on over to my Twitter. Oh, what up, JD? Welcome back. As I was saying, you can head on over to my Twitter, and the pinned tweet there gives you all the information. It's from Hamster Watch. They tell you everything you need to know about how to watch the episode along with us. So, JD, have you been following the feeds? Who do you think's going home? Do you have an idea? Because I don't. I would not be shocked if either one of them went home at this point. It's going to be interesting. They're doing the recap still on the episode, so if you guys are just tuning in, you have not missed anything. Make sure everything's looking good. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. I really kind of doubt, too, that they're going to show us much of what happened, right? Like, I think during the episode, we're actually not even going to get much of, like, oh, the flip. We'll probably get the house meeting. Let's see. Yeah, they're pushing up Josh of, like, Josh is spinning this and not everybody else was flip-flopping. Close vote, 6-4 either way. I could see that. I could really see that. And the thing is, the Sunsetters were talking about, like, yeah, we could lose the vote, right? Like, if Tera doesn't vote the way we think, we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't actually have control if we try and do this. So who knows? God, Arissa's just the best host. She tweeted a picture, or it might have been on Instagram. She sent out a picture of a flip-flop. And she's like, if you know, you know. Rohan going up on the block. Let's see what happened after the veto. I can get water. I need to get water at the next commercial break. I want both of them to survive eviction. Josh could be safe if he is good at the mind games. I don't even think it's up to Josh. Like, Josh, I don't even think has control over anything. It's all about whether Tina, Latoya, Jed, Ty, Beth, like, all of them get on the same page, right? Like, the Sunsetters. That's what really is going to run this vote, not what really Josh even wants. Rohan is very confident going into this. Oh, they're going to give us Latoya and Tina at the pool table. It's great. I love it. I love it. Like, that was the plan. Send Josh home. And Tina and Latoya actually talked about it. They said, we sent Julie home so we could send Josh home this week, right? Like, that was the only reason we sent Julie home last week, was to send Josh home this week. You know what, JD? I get that, right? Because he's very calculated too, like Kesar. And even like the way he talks, right? Like, it's very deliberate in his speech. Like, he chooses his words carefully, and that's very Kesar like to me as well. Will he end up going out as early as Kesar? It might be here. It might be even earlier. Kyle and Rohan are as you can see here, Cairo, I named them. I don't think they have an official name, but they're kind of a pairing. And that's what makes keeping Rohan this week for the Sunsetters dangerous, right? Is Kyle. But also, by voting him out, you then make Kyle mad, right? So if you are Latoya, Jedson, Kiefer, and you vote out Rohan, and Kyle wins HOH, well, who do you think he's putting up? Right? It's tough. It's a tough decision. Again, anybody, if you need help watching the episode, just let me know. You can go to my Twitter, and you can get all the information on there as well. I hope Rohan gets to jury at least, but it's all up to the Sunsetters at this point. Yeah, right? It's all up to whether or not they decide keeping Josh as the big target or making Kyle and Rohan the big targets is the better option for their game at this point. And it's not as straightforward as, oh, yeah, we just do it this way, because with the teams, it throws everything to a loop, right? If you piss off Kyle this week going into the HOH, and then you lose the HOH, like, what are you going to do? He's only got limited options, and 3 of them are sunsetters. You know? It's a tough situation. But at the same time, even if you vote out Josh, there's nothing that stops Kyle and Rohan from going after you guys anyway. Right? So it's whether or not you trust them not to go after you. It's weird. And with the flip-flop, a lot of that caused damage as well to the relationships that people like Tina had with Kyle and Rohan. She probably would have been able to control where they went, right, with the HOH. Let's say Kyle won, she probably could have convinced them to put up like a Breydon, right, at the very least. But Kyle winning HOH is always the worst case scenario this upcoming week anyway, right? It's crazy. Spicy finding the shoe. Man, Spicy, she is very entertaining. I love to watch her. She's not good at the game. She is not good at the game. I'm sorry, Spicy, but it's tough. Uh-oh. Jedson and Beth's first kiss. Yeah, it's a tough call, but I don't even know what is the right. I think Josh would maybe be the right call because you don't want to piss Kyle off for no reason and expose your alliance. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there is definitely a bit of a love triangle going on here with Jed, Ty, and Beth. See, one of the things too was they were talking about Beth leaning into one of the showmances over the other so that the rest of the house, you know, kind of covers up the alliance a little bit. Oh my gosh, an Undercover Brothers and Beth Final 3. Who takes who? Right? Like, does Ty take Jed? Does Ty take Beth? Does Jed take Beth, or does he? Which one does Beth choose if she wins? That actually. Do we manifest that? Do we manifest a love triangle final 3 where they have to make a decision? I think at the end though, Beth would probably take Ty. I don't know where Ty would do. Ty might take Jed. Right? He might take Jedson. Right? That would just be the producers right now, they're probably like dying. They're like, yes, give us Jed, Ty, Beth final 3. Give us that, please. Because that's good TV right there. Especially if they keep this like will they, won't they showmance going the whole time between the 3 of them. That's the producer's dream. That's their dream right there. All right. Since it's commercial, I'm going to pop off real quick. I'm going to give you guys some music here. And I am going to grab some water. I will be right back. We're back. I got water. We're all good. There we go. Refreshing. Still in commercial break of the episode. JD, you were digging the music? You liked it? Still in commercial break, waiting for the episode to return. Continuing over, like, kind of what was going on the feeds, because it was... Oh, wait, we're back. We're back on the episode. Give you the...
Welcome back. Remember,
sync up
you can
if you
always
guys
keep
need
the
it.
live feeds over at bigbrothercanada.ca.
Yeah, go watch the live feeds. They're free. If you're not watching them without a VPN, I don't know what you're doing. Don't know what you're doing. They keep pushing this, like, Josh is a chaotic mastermind gimmick, which isn't really true. So what do you think about the new info for the teams will be? I don't know. Do you need a VPN for the live streams? I recommend one all the time. I always recommend a VPN, no matter what. Also, it looks like they're getting the TikToks now. But if you need any info on how to watch, all you have to do is head over to my Twitter, the pinned tweet on my profile there. That gives you all the information you're going to need on how to watch the episode. Let's see. So what do you think the new info for the teams will be? I don't know, JD. Maybe they're going to end. Maybe they're going to switch up the teams. If they switch up the teams, that's going to change the dynamics a lot on who's safe and who's not, right? Maybe they're going to make like 3 teams. Who knows? Who knows what it could be? It's probably going to, though, be something like they did with the prisoner's dilemma, right? With the share for the food type of thing. That's what I would imagine they're going to end up doing. Oh, they got Sarah on there too. I saw a bunch of these like on the feeds. Cindy as well. They're showing her now. One thing is Kyle and Tina have watched a lot of these. Oh, Anthony! Truly a legend. Truly a legend. Poutine Poppy. Love it. Jed and Ty looking at each other. Poutine Poppy. Oh. He had a great run. A great run. Hey, if you're following me on Twitter, you would have saw the little interaction me and him had last night. Great stuff. Yeah, emotional. Like, I got emotional. Like, talking about it, kind of. Like, as the tweets were going on and, like, seeing people's reaction to, like, everything that was, you know, being said, it was really cool. Because I hated the way he had to play. He got put in positions that he shouldn't have had to be put in just because of the way he looked. And it's something that, like, I connected with because I feel like his personality can be very similar to mine, but nobody would ever say the things about him that they were saying about, like, they wouldn't say that about me. If that makes sense, right? Like, they would not have put me in the same position that they put him in. And I didn't like it. But what a run he had. He was so good. So good. And the way he was able to get out of that position too, right? Like, and he didn't even know the game going in. He was a recruit. Like, he knew nothing. He knew nothing about the game. And he crushed it in that house. Anthony was a legend. They're talking a little bit about the flip. This is good. Good stuff. I love when they actually acknowledge it. They're doing a good job of explaining why the house is a little shaky on the vote, how Kiefer was the one kind of pushing it and stuff like that. So I understand they're not going to be able to show every flip of the game, right? That's something that only us feeders will understand. But they're doing a good job so far. I do think though, eventually, Sunsetters are gonna crack. There's gonna be something that happens that splits them down the middle. Oh, here's the conversation. I love this one. I sent out a tweet about this. When these two talk, I listen. I listen when they talk. Latoya, Tina, oh, fantastic. Why are my faves targeting each other? I feel you, JD, right? Everyone's playing hard. Like, everyone in the house, they're playing hard this year, and I love it. Tina and Latoya, man, the two of them, they are like, even during the flips when they were going on, everyone would go like, all right, I gotta go talk to Latoya, right? Or, oh, I gotta go talk to Tina, you know? Everything kind of revolves around them too. That's the big thing, right? If they go for this vote and it doesn't work, the 6 is exposed for nothing. If they go for this vote and it does work, the 6 is still exposed. Either way, you're probably exposing the alliance. But who are you exposing it to? Kyle and Austin, who might be your biggest, well, not Austin this week because she can't win HOH, but the Kyle at the very least. And if he wins HOH, that's tough. That brings us to a commercial break. While we're on a commercial break, let's go, let's do this. I think I can, yeah. Boom. Look at that. We've got, the alliance chart in full screen mode here. Kind of give you a better look at it. So yeah, you can kind of see what I mean here. If you look at defenders and you take defenders out of it, like you take Rohan out of the defenders, you're left with 5 people on defenders. And 3 of them are Sunsetters. That's good for them if they win HOH, right? Because on the other side, you have plenty of options on who you could put up. You could put up Austin, you could put up Kyle, you could put up Spicy V, Tara even as like a pawn. But if Destiny wins, especially if Kyle would win, or even Spicy V, if Spicy V would win, you maybe have a little bit of room that you could wiggle, but I don't think so. I think she would end up listening to Austin, who's not going to put up Breydon, right? Spicy V is not going to put up Breydon. Worst case scenario is if you vote out Rohan, Kyle or Spicy V win HOH. Because then at that point, you know, at least one of the Sunsetters is going up. Most likely 2 of them will go up on the block. Now, if... yeah, I just don't know if it's a really smart idea for the Sunsetters to actually get rid of Rohan this week. it all comes down to whether or not Tina, because you can see that little stripe that goes down from Tina to Kyle and Rohan there. She wanted to kind of weaponize them, right? And use them later on down the game to possibly take a shot at someone like Ty or Jedson so that she wouldn't have to. But I still think Josh is probably your best bet for the Sunsetters. Now, if you're anti-Sunsetter, I think you want Rohan to go. I think. Because that will be what causes people like Kyle, Austin, Breydon, Spicy V to go, whoa, 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 what's going on here? What kind of alliances do you guys got going on? Which they're already starting to think about, you know, Latoya and Jed and Ty that way, right? Tough. It's a tough situation. But we're heading back into the episode now. Give you another sync point.
We're on all the socials. Hit us up and let us know what's on your mind. Just use the hashtag BBcan9.
BBcan9, use the hashtag. If you need help watching, all you have to do is head on over to the Twitter. And if you head on over to my Twitter, it's that pinned tweet that will get you to all the information you need to watch the episode. Do you think Josh could go, but the possibility of Rohan leaving is getting bigger? Right? Like, I the way the flips were happening, at one point, Rohan was leaving. Like, Rohan was the vote. And then all of a sudden, nope, it was back to Josh again. I honestly, coin flip it at this point. I really think it's a coin flip on wherever the vote landed, because we didn't even get to really see much. Even this morning, there was like more stuff going on where like people were finding out that people were throwing people's names out. It's crazy. Now we're getting the Josh Jed pitch. It's a good pitch. It's like, do you think you can beat me? Yeah. Do you think you can beat Ro? Do you? Like, do you really think you can beat him? I don't know. You can't deny that Josh has a good pitch. You just can't deny it. And this pitch actually, this took place 2 days ago? Because this was before the House meeting, I think. Yeah, this is all like the setup for the House meeting here. Okay, so what are the votes tied? Oh, Austin would 100% send out Josh. 100% she would send home Josh. And this is why, like what we're seeing on the episode right now, this is why she would 100% send home Josh if it gets tied. Yeah, we're getting the House meeting. House meeting! Get your popcorn ready. It's the House meeting, y'all. Josh just getting some lotion on. He's like, uh-oh. I love that Jedson pulled up a chair. I love that. I also have to apologize to Spicy V. I thought this. I thought when Tara was like, I threw your name out there, I thought that was Spicy V. I don't think the house meeting was actually a good idea necessarily for Judd, but I also don't think it was a bad idea. At the end of the day, it didn't put him in a bad position, and I think he kind of knew going into it that Rohan would eventually take over the house meeting, right? Because this happened even before the nominations, but Rohan kind of knew he was going to be the replacement nom. So he kind of knew that if he called the house meeting, Rohan would step up and start kind of throwing Josh under the bus. Josh Austin. Kiefer's dying. Kiefer and Ty, like literally like holding back laughter. Oh, that's great. Uh, the argument that Josh put forth during the house meeting wasn't good, but his pitch on why he should stay in the first place is good, right? That he's going to be a target no matter what. As long as he's living in the house, people are always going to be going after him. And he'll always end up being on the block. Problem is, anybody who's up against him probably stays. I like how they haven't even really brought up the Josh saying he's too smart for the game, or what everybody else took it as Josh saying he's smarter than everybody else, which is not what he said. Oh, they're putting it all up there. This is kind of good because they're actually showing him having the conversation where he names everybody. They didn't show that Kiefer was the one to give him this information, but JD's chiming in. I'm sure Beth would vote Rohan, as she said last week that Josh could be used as a shield. Exactly. She's kind of one that was on the, keeping Josh train. But she even flip-flopped throughout the day too. Yeah, they're even giving him credit that it's a great pitch because it is a good pitch. It put some people on nerve that he named like 5 of the 6 people in the Sunsetters. Like he literally named 5 of the 6 people. Gonna be going into another commercial break here. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get, the full flip and everything that happened in that way. But they are doing a pretty good job of showing why it's still up in the air, right? It's an open vote as of right now. But is it enough? That's the question, right? Like I don't know, because they're not going to show us what happened afterwards, I don't think. Because after that conversation we just saw with Josh, Latoya then went, all right, that is a really good pitch. I'm going to take it to Tina. And when she went to talk to Tina, Tina was like, no, I don't want to keep Josh over Rohan. I want to keep Rohan. Because again, Tina wants to weaponize Kyle and Rohan. This is where the problem came in. Because what did Tina get nervous about? That Josh was able to name like everybody. And Ty and Jed got nervous by that too. Right? And you pretty much had Tina, Kiefer, and Beth on the, or excuse me, Latoya, Kiefer, and Beth on the keep Josh side. And you had Jed, Ty, and Tina on the, no, I'd rather keep Rohan right now, right? Even though they were kind of on different sides of it, right? Like Jed and Ty, they wanted to keep Rohan because Josh was throwing their name out there, like Jed's name out there. Tina wanted to keep Rohan because she wanted to use him to get them out later. So it was kind of a weird dynamic there. But man, it flipped back and forth, I think, another 2 times after that, right? Like there was the debate on whether they should even do it. And then Tina got the impression from Kiefer that she actually wasn't as close to Rohan and Kyle that she thought she was, right? Like she thought she was in with Kyle and Rohan more than anybody else. But then she started to get the impression that, wait a second, I don't think I do have that close of a connection with them. It's like the alliance is mostly like BB22's alliance with 6 members, right? Yeah, it is kind of like that. And look, it's a solid strategy always in Big Brother to have a big alliance, especially modern Big Brother and the way it works. The one thing that throws a little bit of a wrench into it is, weirdly enough, this team twist. This team twist kind of throws everything a little bit crazier, because if you aren't aligned with the right people and there's only so many options, you could still end up being a target, even though you're good with some people on the other team, right? Like, even though you're good with people on the other team, they have no choice but sometimes to put you up. So it's a little weird. I kind of like it. There's still issues with the team twist overall, but it's definitely going to make the steamroll that the committee had in All Stars 2, like BB22. It's going to make that steamroll a lot harder for the Sunsetters. And plus, I think there's going to be a lot of cracks. But we're getting back into the episode right now. Am I having an echo again? Maybe not. Giving you guys a little sync point.
Eviction vote, another member of Team Defender will be hitting the bricks. The only question is, will it be Josh or Rohan?
If you need help actually watching the episode, just hit me up in the chat. Let me know. I can help you with all of the links you need. Hey, it's time for the vote, people. If you need that link, let me know so you can watch along. We're getting into the please. Show you Josh making his little plea here. you need help watching, just let me know. Head to my Twitter. You can find all the info you need. Get me off this block because it ain't for Row Show. I don't know where it's going to go. I honestly don't know where the votes are going to go. All right, we're getting Kyle's vote first. Obviously, he's voting Josh out. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's mostly Sunsetters. Kyle votes for Josh. Again, that was an obvious one. Breydon coming in. I think Breydon is also going to be voting Josh.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I cast my vote to evict Josh.
It is a vote for Josh. So that is 2-0 Josh. Kiefer. Let's see where Kiefer goes. If the flip is happening...
Please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly vote to evict Josh.
Josh. I think it's going to be Josh that leaves. Let's see where Beth goes.
To evict.
I vote to evict Josh.
Thank you.
Josh. Okay. Going to be Josh leaving, I think. Unless they are splitting the vote in a weird way. I don't know. But I think it's going to be Josh. Spicy V goes Josh. That's 5. Just needs one more. One more for Josh, and it's official.
Sadly, I vote to evict Josh.
That's it. It's official. Josh will be leaving the Big Brother house. Will there be any hinky votes? I don't know. And honestly, I think that was the best move for the Sunsetters. Because if you mess around too much, they're going to know what's going on, and that's just not good. Tina voted Josh. Now Ty's about to vote. I'm guessing this is the Sunsetters like vote thing. This is how they signify they're the Sunsetters. Oh yeah, he definitely had an uphill battle. Yeah. It was close though. It wasn't even him. It wasn't him, right? He did not make it close. But it was close because of the Sunsetters doubting themselves and getting sketched out, right? Like I'll give you this. It was a lot of fun watching the feed yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I honestly should have streamed, but again, I was having some issues. Oh, I missed it. I was gonna give you Julie saying, Josh, you've been evicted, but Josh has been evicted. It's giving the peace signs. Honestly, didn't hug anybody. Didn't say really anything. Yeah, unanimous. But yeah, look, you don't really... Don't hate me, he says. I'm not that surprised that it was unanimous, because they didn't want to like tip off that there's some kind of alliance. I would have been like, hey, look, let's have like 2 people vote for him to stay, just to make things crazy, right? Make people speculate. But if it would have been a split, that would have, like, the only way it would have been a split is if Rohan was the one to go home. Does that make sense? Right? Like, since they're voting Josh, there is no reason to split the vote at all. right? Make it like 6-4 or anything, because all that's going to do is expose that there's something weird going on with the vote. Now, if you did like 1 or 2 like hinky votes, that can be good to stir up like, who did those votes? I don't know. It had to be like this person or that person. But I think at the end of the day, for the Sunsetters, just to keep things simple and clean, you vote out Josh unanimously. Nobody has any clue what's going on. Worst case scenario now, Kyle wins HOH, and he puts up, you know, Breydon and Kiefer, right? Or maybe he puts up, you know, Jedson, right? Maybe he does go after a big guy, but he's not putting up Rohan. You know that for sure. And that's your worst case scenario, is he'll end up going after Latoya, Kiefer, Jedson, and Breydon. Those would be his only 4 options to go on the block. So I believe the plan is to hopefully have either Jed or Latoya, maybe Kiefer, right, win HOH. That way there's much more options. They can put up somebody like Austin and Tera, or Austin and Victoria, right? Maybe do a backdoor on Kyle next week. But I just think, yeah, the best move for the Sunsetters was just make it clean, unanimous, go for Josh. Now, we will have to see what the HOH will be here. I feel like a knockout one would be a lot of fun, right? If they did like, yeah, but it's so early for knockout. Like I'm doubting myself on the prediction that it would be knockout, right? Because knockout's usually like, was this competition HOH veto or, you know, luxury comp? But they haven't had enough competitions to really do that. It could be something with the TikToks, but I thought the TikTok was going to be a veto competition. But why show the TikToks today in this episode if they weren't going to be something used for the HOH? Also, what is the possible team scenario, right? Are the teams staying the same, or are they switching up? Who knows? There should be an obvious pre-jury battle back when it's jury, because I like pre-jury so far. I don't think there's going to be a battle back. My reasoning why: Julie Vu and Anthony, who we were talking about earlier, he actually met up with her. They took a picture and everything. They met up at somewhere in Canada, I guess, and we're hanging out. Maybe they live near each other. But I agree. I do like the pre-jury battle backs. Like, keep everybody in quarantine there and you know, sequester. And maybe send somebody like that back in. My biggest problem with battlebacks is, one, I don't like the idea of having 2 lives in the game, right? Like that season of Survivor, the recent one where it was what was it? Not Ghost Island, with all the returnees and everything, and Devins got beat by the guy who was not even on the show for half of it. Like, I don't like that, right? Like, I think that's even though Devins in himself had a second chance, right? But it was, again, early. Yeah, it's tough. Buybacks are tough, and it's hard to do them right, especially in Big Brother, because once they go to that jury house, or once they go to that sequester house and they're all talking, they, like, especially the jury, like, if you do a jury battle back and you don't tell them that there's a chance of coming back, well, they're all going to be talking about what happened in the game. They're going to be spilling everybody's game, and whoever comes back into the jury, they're going to know everything. Like Gary in BBCAN9. When he came back in the house, he knew everybody's game. Everybody's. Winners of War had everyone be jury in there. Yeah, I like that, right? Like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, too. I don't know. Battlebacks are a little tough. Survivor even too is a little bit different, right, with battlebacks, because there's no chance of, like, I was gonna say no chance of spilling each other's game, but no, everybody would be spilling. Nah, they would be closer with it, because they would know they're going back in, because they're staying on the island. They're not in Ponderosa, right? Like, if they were in Ponderosa, and then were then said, hey, guess what? You're getting a chance to come back in. That would be crazy because then everybody would have been saying, oh, yeah, I was aligned with this guy and this guy and this guy. Josh doing his little interview here still. Oh, yeah. Being in the elite Young Bucks, baby. Gotta love them. I got the Brody one in the background, too. It's Thursday. You know what that means, baby. Dude, that was so tough. Like, honestly, I've been a Brody fan for a really long time. Really long time. That was so tough. Maybe, like, the toughest, like, famous celebrity death that, like, I've ever witnessed because it was so out of nowhere. Right? And what a guy. What an amazing person. Just, Brody was the man. I love that Beth was like, we're the Sunsetters and we're putting you guys to sleep one by one. Love it. Love it. Aw, Tera. Tera's so sweet. Big news. Oh. Uh-oh.
Teams, but you also all know that Big Brother will always do anything they can to keep you on your toes.
Are the teams over?
So, as of right now, there are no more teams.
No more teams. No more teams. Whoa. No more teams. All right, that changes everything now. That changes everything. Like, absolutely everything has changed. Everything I talked about, how pissing off Kyle and worrying about, you know, only having 4 options for him to put out the window. That is all out the window. No more teams. Ooh. Okay. I'm for this though. I think this is interesting. Man, that really does change everything. All right. So, what's your worst case scenario now? Rohan or Kyle, I think, still win an HOH. I think if you're the Sunsetters, that is your absolute worst case scenario. Besides Breydon. Breydon is also, I think, a bad person for the Sunsetters to win HOH at this point. Tera wins. That's okay. Spicy V would be a tough one. Spicy V, if she won, because who knows what she would do. She wouldn't put up Austin, Breydon. No teams changes a lot. No teams changes a lot. Do you think the Sunsetters is going to make it to the end? Now that there's no teams, it makes it easier. One of the things I was just talking about earlier was having the teams made a Sunsetters steamroll harder, right? Because just look at what would have happened this week if Kyle would have won HOH. He's not going to put up Rohan, and the only 4 options he would have left would be Kiefer, Latoya, Breydon, and Jed, right? So 3 of those 4 are Sunsetters. So now that there's no teams, it makes it a little bit more open, right? Like if Kyle won HOH, maybe he doesn't go after the Sunsetters and he just goes, let me do an easy week and do Tera and Victoria, right? Maybe that's the easy way to go. So now that there's no teams, I think the Sunsetters going all the way to the end is more possible. But with the past 24 hours and how much flip-flopping was going back and forth, and you can even see on my chart here, they kind of don't trust Beth still. Like, Jed and Ty, they trust Beth more than Tina and Latoya do. But there's cracks. There are cracks already in the Sunsetters, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This just went from 0 to 100 real quick, especially if the Sunsetters don't win, right? Like, if somebody outside the Sunsetters wins HOH, is going to be crazy. It's possible they can, they just have to play their card exactly. They're doing a good job. I see Beth and Ty making it far, and Jed breaking that bond, right? And that was one of the things, I don't know how long you've been here, Dylan. We were talking earlier of maybe a dream scenario of a final 3, Ty, Jed, and Beth. Could you imagine? Whoever wins HOH, what do they do? Right? Does Beth take Ty or Jed? Does Jed take his undercover brother, or does he take his showmans? So many scenarios break out with that. Who knows? Who knows where that would go? All right, we're back. Time for the HOH competition. Give you guys a sync up if you need it.
Let's head to the backyard now. Hello, house guests.
Lots of clouds everywhere. Oh, it's a true or false. Is it knockout? True or false knockout? Yes, this is perfect because it shows everybody's cards too, right? I don't know who this is. Who's this? I don't know. Is he a Canadian like superstar? I don't know who that is. All right, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be so good. Man, if it comes down like, if it comes down to a Sunsetter like Tina or Latoya, and they throw it or something to like Kyle, so he, oh my god, that'd be crazy. So we have Kiefer and Ty starting it off. Who do they choose? Who do they choose to go up? Victoria and Breydon? But Victoria and Breydon could easily win one of these competitions, so you don't want to say their name. Oh, man. I love knockouts. The heck? So they're showing them pretty much like a weird animation thing. I'll show you on the next one. I wasn't ready for it to show you guys. To give you an idea what the questions are like. I answered first. He answered false. Tychon out. Kiefer chose Tera and Breydon. That's pretty good pick. Pretty good pick. Doesn't pick a Sunsetter, but also those are pretty easy people to do. So this is kind of the setup here. They're showing them like these weird animation things, and then they got to choose true or false. So like that one was she holding a set of keys? And Tara says true. Breydon's out. If anybody needs help watching, all you have to do is head to my Twitter. If you need a link, let me know. Top pin tweet will give you all the information on how to watch along with us. So Tara put up Beth and Jedson. I would be so bad at this competition, I think. I didn't pay attention to the numbers. Jed got it right. Beth is eliminated. Kyle and Rohan have not been picked yet. Interesting. Interesting. Spicy V winning HOH, you think, JD? That'd be a good one. Be a good one. Tera answers in false. Tera is out. Who's Spicy V picking? Kiefer. Kiefer and Rohan. Okay. Okay. V, you might have... They're cutting us off! They're cutting us off!
Guests, the live feeds are up and they're free. Just go to Big Brother
They're cutting us off
for that 24-hour.
Oh. We'll find out who won though on the feeds. We'll figure it out pretty quickly. Right? I hate when they cut us off. Especially in one of these, right? It's always so good. Oh. But that is the episode. We saw Josh leave. We saw a bit of the flip-flop in action and how close it was to keeping Josh and Rohan going a little bit. Definitely some cracks forming in the Sunsetters. Now the teams are done. Anybody can go up. So who knows what's going to be going on with that now. Man, this is going to be a good week here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Who do I want to see actually win HOH this week? Rohan or Kyle might actually be kind of fun this week. A Rohan HOH, you know, right? From worst to first kind of a thing. From bottom of the barrel to sitting in that HOH room. I think that'd be pretty cool. See what he does with it, because he might go after someone fairly big. I don't think he's going to want to waste his HOH on somebody like a Spicy V, right? Like, that's not what Kyle would, or Rohan would want to do. And I don't think Kyle would want to do that either. Who else would be a fun HOH? I'd love to see Tina or Latoya finally in the HOH seat and see what they would actually do with it. It would probably be boring. They'd probably just go after like Austin and Breydon, I'd imagine, maybe. But I don't know. It's gonna be fun. The teams being gone, that throws everything into a loop. But that is the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna call it here for now, but I might pop over to Twitch in a little bit and pull up the live feeds. We might hang out on there if I can get everything running. And so yeah, if you guys aren't following the channel, make sure you are subscribed. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Never miss a video, never miss a stream. We're going to be doing every Thursday episode like this at the very least. Because I think now I might have my internet issues kind of worked out. Seems thing to be pretty stable for the time being. But that stinks, I think, will be the end of it. Once again, thank you all for joining me. I hope you had a good one, and I will see you all next time.